About the future of the Mac, and we want a set of names that are going to carry us for at least the next 10 years. And you know, the answer was really obvious to us. It's those places that inspire us inside our backyard, just off the coast, to a place with some of the biggest waves and most extreme surfing in all of North America, OS X Mavericks. Yes, that guy. We're bringing tagging to the Mac. So now, when you save a document, in addition to providing it across multiple displays, and when you take a window full screen on one display, it doesn't mess with your desktop on the other display. And I really love this, when you pan your spaces, you can do it independently on each of your displays. Finally, if you have an AirPlay connected HD TV, it acts as a full power separate display as well. And I'd like to show all of this to you now. All right, let's take our first look here at Mavericks, and we're going to start with the Finder. So here's the Finder environment. I got a lot going on, a lot of windows, a lot of different locations. I'm going to go up here to the window menu, and let's merge all my windows. Just like that, they hop into a set of tabs. Now, of course, these tabs have different locations. Over the AirDrop tab, drop it just like that, really nice. And, of course, I can now take Finder full screen. Next, let's take a look at tagging. This is really cool. So as I go to save a document, you notice I can give it a name, like let's say Project Plan. And in addition to its location, in this case I'm going to save it in iCloud, I can also give it a tag from any of the tags I've made up. So I'm going to call this document important. It looks pretty important to me. And we'll go here into the Finder, and you see in the Finder sidebar, I have an important tag, and I see all these documents. They're from different locations, different applications, all drawn together in sidebar. We have other tags I've given things for things that are draft and in review. Now, of course, with tags, I can assign multiple tags to the same document. That's part of the power of tags. So I go here, and I'm going to say this one is also in review. And you notice as I assign that tag, it now appears in that location as well. And if I want to assign a totally new tag, I want to make up a tag on the fly, I can just type it right here. This is a website project I'm working on. It says create new tag website. And just like that, I've created a new tag, and you can see it right here in the Finder. I can give that tag a color, of course. And now that I have that tag, I can also assign tags by just dragging things in to the tag area in the Finder. So different assets for my website, just drag them in, and they're tagged like that. And tags are great for searching for with tags. Next, let's take a look at multiple displays. I'm going to open up some of the kind of windows that I'm often working with. We'll open up iPhoto here, maybe a keynote presentation. And I actually have a second display connected to this MacBook Pro. Let's show that up there on the display now. Of course, with multiple displays, I can just move windows across displays like you'd expect. But now, I can get up at my menu bar on the second display. If I go down to the bottom, I can summon the dock just like that. If I want to open an app on the second display, I can just open it on the dock here. And here's iTunes. I can take this app full screen, just like that. And as I swipe spaces, just right back there, just on that display. Let's take Keynote full screen as well. I'm going to go back to my first display here. Let's even take iPhoto full screen. So now I have different full screen apps on my different displays. It's actually a really fantastic way to work. Go in here into Favorite Travels. And I can now drag assets across my full screen apps like that. Super cool. And Mission Control has just been supercharged for multiple displays. So I'm going to go now into Mission Control. And we see my different full screen spaces and desktops across applications. I can drag a window from one display to another. But I can also go and drag a full screen app. There it is, full displays in Mavericks. Next, I'd like to talk about some advanced technologies in Mavericks. You know, our power users are increasingly doing their work on the go. They want great responsiveness, but they also want great battery life. And in Mavericks, we've introduced a whole host of technologies to address that challenge. Things like compressed memory that make sure you have memory available very quickly when apps demand it. Technologies like AppNap that actually make sure we're directing power only to those applications where you're really benefiting from it. System-wide core animation accelerated scrolling and OpenGL4 for super responsive graphics. And a topic I want to go into in a bit more detail now, timer coalescing. So you know, when you look at battery life on your computer, the real factor that software has the most influence over is CPU activity and its draw on power. And if you look at what your system is doing at any given time, what you'll see as you look under the hood is not a smooth line, but actually hundreds of interrupts occurring per second where the system is going from a power-efficient sleep state up to a state of... Next, let's talk about compressed memory. Nothing affects the performance of your Mac, the responsiveness more of a Mac that's under load than its ability to provide free memory to an app. Now, typically, when you look at your app runtime, all your memory isn't active. In fact, a subset of your memory is actively being used, and others is memory we have to keep around but isn't being used by the app. Well, now, if you open a document, your system is going to need to get free memory, and it does that in the past by writing those inactive bits of memory out to disk, and that's a slow process. Now, with compressed memory, we're able to rapidly compress the inactive memory, making free space available almost instantaneously to the application. This can have great effects on responsiveness of systems under load. You see 1.4 end user improvements. There's also a lot going on under the hood. Next up, calendar. Let's take a look. Absolutely no virtual cows were harmed in the making of this user interface. We're going to be adding that one to our environmental checklist, trust us. So in addition to that, you have your Facebook events right on your calendar if you wish, and we have a great new inspector that's even aware of things like location, travel time, and weather. And that's your calendar. Next, maps. Beautiful flyover data, search for points of interest, great info cards. You can get turn-by-turn directions. And my favorite part, when I have a route that I've set up on my Mac, and now it's time to go, you can just click right up here and send it right to my iPhone, where it'll appear right on my lock screen. And when I unlock my phone, it takes me straight into navigation. Super cool. We're also providing a developer SDK so you can add mapping functionality to your apps as well. So that's maps. Finally, we're bringing iBooks to the Mac. So now you have access to the full library of 1.8 million books in the iBook store. Your full library from your iOS devices is available on your Mac as well. It's a great environment for reading. It's also a great environment for taking notes. And it supports iBooks textbooks. They're beautiful and they're interactive. I'd love to give you a demo of all of this right now. So let's start in maps. So here we are in Paris. You can just zoom in. Do we have someone from Paris there? You can zoom right in. You see it's just so fast and fluid, bringing in points of location. I can pan around the map, find a nice location. Next, let's take a look at the new calendar. It has continuous scrolling, and what's really amazing is even without the stitching, the window still sticks right there on the screen. It doesn't fall off without the stitching. I don't know how we did it. It's engineering. It's really great for creating events. So if I go and create an event like this, let's say I'm going to have lunch. And now I'm going to type in what I want to have for lunch. So I'm going to say I want pizza. And you notice it suggests all sorts of locations nearby. So I'm going to select Tony's Pizza. And you notice I get a map. Way to learn.